Well, still to come this evening, another US government shutdown is looming, so how could it be prevented? In the United States, congressional efforts to reach a border security deal broke down at the weekend, just days before another government shutdown is due to come back into effect. And Donald Trump has tonight said finding a resolution is up to the Democrats.
We need a wall, and all of the other things are nice to have. But without a wall, it's not going to work. We can have technology, we can have beautiful drones flying all over the place, but it doesn't work without the wall. Now, we need a wall. We can call it anything. We'll call it barriers, we'll call it whatever they want. But now it turns out not only don't they want to give us the money for the wall, they don't want to give us the space to detain murderers, criminals, drug dealers, human smugglers.
Well, let's get more on this now with Jason Meister, who was part of Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and is working on his 2020 bid for re-election. Hello to you. So it's back to Texas then for President Trump to fight the good fight on his border wall tonight. Is he going to win this battle against the Democrats? And if so, how?
Anna, thanks for having me. It's not about the president winning. It's about Americans winning and finally solving a problem at the border that's been going on for decades, and both Democrats and Republicans have not solved the issue, and the president is focused on doing so. It is a humanitarian crisis. If you look at the border apprehensions at the border over the last couple of months, we're up 85% apprehensions. We have nearly 200,000 people trying to cross the border illegally in just the last 4 months alone. In the last year, there was 1 million pounds of narcotics seized at the border. So this is a problem, and the president's going to deal with it.
Well, we can see the troops mobilising in pictures we're running while you're talking. Does the president really still believe they're all murderers, criminal, human traffickers, as he said? Because many of his claims about the threat on the southern border have been discounted. It must be damaging for him.
It's not. The media likes to spin it that way, but the reality is that the president is a supporter of legal immigration. And time and time again, the media continues to spin the difference between legal immigration and illegal immigration. The president has been very clear that it's a common sense approach. We need to have border security. We need to protect our borders. You are not a country without borders.
So does he think the 2,000 people massing on the border are all criminals?
He does not think that and has not expressed that. But if you look at the stats and the facts and you don't separate yourself from them, with 1 million pounds of narcotics, fentanyl, heroin, etc., seized at the border in 2017, if you look at 200,000 people trying to cross the border illegally, as opposed to legally coming into this country, it is a humanitarian crisis and it must be dealt with.
And most narcotics come through legal ports of entry in packages as cargo or with people entering the US legally, not on the southern border.
Look, I think that what you really need to look at are the areas at the southern border in which there is a physical barrier. And if you look at those areas today, you'll see that illegal border crossings are nearly down 95% in those locations. Walls work. You can look at Israel. You can look at other places where there are walls, and walls work. That's why the president is so adamant about not only every technology, but also building physical barriers.
Is this now mainly about politics rather than the safety of US citizens? Mr. Trump found promoting outrage and concern over immigration helped cement his core vote back in 2016. He realises now that depth and not breadth of political support is where he needs to be aiming, and stoking anxiety about demographic and cultural change is the way to do it.
Unfortunately, I think that there's a lot of politics involved, mostly on the Democrat side. You look at Nancy Pelosi's positions and Chuck Schumer's positions over the course of history, decades. You look at Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, they've all expressed and articulated at moments in time that they believed that we needed a physical barrier at the border in order to secure our borders. And those videos are out there. They're all over the internet. They're not going away. And the Democrats have decided, it's very obvious, that they are not going to come to the table and negotiate with President Trump. They're not going to give him the border security that Americans need, okay? And so the president is dealing with Democrats who don't want to help secure the borders. So he's going to do whatever it takes to get the border secured and to build the wall.
So will the government shut down again, and do Republican voters support that?
Well, I think the ball has been, since the president reopened the government, the ball has been in the Democrats' court. And so far, I haven't seen any significant momentum on the Democrat side to come to the table in a meaningful way. So I think it's really in the hands of the Democrats to come to President Trump, as he has come to them over the many months of this negotiation, and come with some meaningful positions and negotiations. If they do not, the president will do whatever it takes. And he's expressed that he may have to declare a national emergency and siphon the funds that way.
But it's not the Democrats who want to build the wall, it's the president, and therefore it's up to him to come up with what to do.
It's the American people that would like to have their borders secure. If you look at all the polls, the American people are on the president's side on this issue. And that's why he was elected president in 2016. It was one of his main campaign promises, because the American people want to secure their borders. They want to protect their children. And it's a very, very important issue that has to be dealt with.
Jason Meister, great to have you on. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Anna.